Number 10. The Vampire Couple. How many of you wanted a vampire as your partner after watching Twilight? 20-year-old Leah Benninghoff and 38-year-old Aro Draven are the real-life Edward and Bella. Aro, who claims to be a vampire and goth, met Leah on a dating site in 2013. The duo instantly hit it off. Leo found Aro's vampire persona hypnotic and intriguing. After 3 weeks of dating, Aro proposed, and they've been living together ever since. Since they were spending the rest of eternity together, Aro decided to turn his lady love into a vampire. In an interview, Leah said Aro turned her early in the morning during witch hunting hours. He cut the back of his arm and offered his blood to her, and she did the same for him. She even mentioned that it took a day for the transformation to finish, and the experience was unreal. Now, if she hasn't had any blood in a long time, she feels weak. The couple made a ritual of drinking each other's blood once a week, and they even enjoy having raw steaks over a glass of pig's blood. Whether they go around biting people at night or sparking in the sunshine, we aren't sure, but it'd definitely be interesting to find out. Number 9. I love myself the most. Loving yourself is the first step in self-care, but one man took loving himself way too far. Liu Yi, a man from China, married himself back in 2007. Wondering how? Well, first, he got dressed for the occasion in a red tux and had professional photos taken. Then, he printed one of the photos onto a life-size cardboard cutout and married it. 100 guests attended the wedding. Most of them found the event quite confusing, while others said it was a grand wedding. One woman said that at first, she thought that it would be a group wedding. Among the guests was a psychologist. He described the marriage and Liu's behavior as abnormal. He said that psychologically, he seemed to be unwell. There's no doubt about that. In an interview, Yi said the reason he married himself was his dissatisfaction with reality. Also, it was a process of deconstructing and reconstructing himself. He said many might find his behavior ridiculous, but he is a fairly traditional man. His views on marriage just happen to be different from the norm. He even admitted to being a bit narcissistic, which we could have guessed. Can you imagine going on a date with yourself made out of cardboard? Number 8. Age is just a number. We all know age doesn't really matter when it comes to falling in love. Age is just a number, right? But some relationships push that idea to the max. Mackenzie Yukon and Jeff Scholl have an age difference of 36 years. You might be saying, heard that before, but Mackenzie, 25, was initially engaged to Jeff's son, whom she had dated for 6 years. They were high school sweethearts. When she was with him, the 61-year-old Jeff, her would-be father-in-law, was going through a divorce. Like a good soon-to-be daughter-in-law, she became a pillar of comfort. But little did they know, the comfort was quickly turning into love. They soon started having an affair and eventually were caught by Jeff's wife and his son. Mackenzie didn't regret having an affair with Jeff after getting caught. She broke off her engagement and moved in with Jeff, and now they have a baby boy. Both Jeff and Mackenzie's family cut their ties, which doesn't seem to bother the strange couple. Still, Mackenzie is ready to apologize to all the people she hurt. Jeff even said that he wants to reconcile with his son soon. But how do you fix a relationship after such a shocking betrayal? Number 7. My fiance is a doll. We've seen getting married to yourself, but what about marrying a doll? Jia Tianrong from Hong Kong lives with his parents and is married to a sex doll. Jia learned about his love for dolls at the age of 25. He wanted one sooner, but they were too expensive. Earlier in life, he had relationships with human girlfriends, but now he is only attracted to a doll named Mochi. In one of the interviews, Jia said that his real girlfriends always ask for too much, but Mochi never asked anything of him. Well, Mr. Tianrong, it's not alive. What do you expect? He even said that he never kissed or actually had sex with her because he's afraid it might damage the sensitive skin. For him, Mochi is the perfect companion and a very easygoing date. Jia treats her lavishly, and he loves dressing her up before taking pictures. Mochi owns 20 sets of expensive clothes and 10 pairs of shoes. He stated that if someone asked him to rate her out of 100, he would give her 1,000. He adds that living with her every day is pure bliss and that he is beyond happy. Number 6. Pillow love. How many of you like watching anime? Some dedicated anime fans get life-size pillows of their favorite characters to sleep with, or in this case, marry. Lee Jin-gyu from South Korea married his pillow. As a big fan of magical girl Lyrical Nanoha and loves one character named Fate Testarossa, so he purchased a full coverage pillow of Fate and slowly fell in love with it. truly, madly, and deeply. Guess it really was fate. He dated it for 6 years before tying the knot. Lee, who was living a happy marriage, has one big advantage. He doesn't have to spend much on other pillows. The news was so fascinating that the Korean media filmed their wedding. Most people find this love story strange, and even said he might be doing it just as a publicity stunt. Lee brushed off all the criticism and stated that he's very much in love with his wife, and that his love for her will never change. He named his pillow Dakimura and said he goes on dates with her to malls, amusement parks, public parks, and many other places. Wherever he goes, she comes. As long as he's happy, that's all that matters. We think his waifu would agree. There are some really crazy relationships on our list today. If you like what you've seen, give us a like, share, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Number 5. Daddy issues. Most of the stories so far have just been strange, but this next one is borderline illegal. John and Jenny Deves, the father and daughter duo, were in a relationship for 6 years. Jenny, who was John and his first wife's child, were separated after the divorce. According to Dorothy, his third wife, she always encouraged John to stay in touch with Jenny, since she was his first child, but little did Dorothy know that the touchy reunion would turn into an intimate one. Jenny and John said that they had not been in contact with each other until their reunion in 2000. The daughter, who was living with John and Dorothy, started having sexual relationships within the same house. The 12 years of marriage between John and Dorothy ended when he decided to move in with Jenny. In an interview, Jenny said that while living with her dad, she suddenly started seeing him as a man. She adored how loving, caring, and respectful he was, and slowly began developing feelings for him. Dorothy tried to separate them with the help of her mom, but failed every time. They even lodged complaints against them to the police, who were also after them. The couple escaped to South Australia, where they raised Jenny's children from under previous marriage, and even had their own daughter. The couple split after court ordered a ban on such relationships in 2008, but started living together in 2009, casually in an open marriage. Number 4. Modern-day Oedipus. If you ever took sophomore English in the States, then you might have heard the tale of Oedipus and his mother. Some of you know him as the famous King of Thebes, and some of you may know him for having feelings for his mother. Monica and Caleb, a mother and son duo who live in New Mexico, got into a relationship after reuniting. Monica, at the age of 16, had to give up Caleb for adoption. The duo reunited in 2015 after finding each other on Facebook. At first, it was an emotional mother and son reunion, but later, it turned into an incestuous relationship. Monica, 36, said in an interview that when she saw Caleb, 20 at the time, after so long, she knew he was the one. She had butterflies after seeing him, and that it was love at first sight, but at the beginning, it was a motherly love. She even said that the moment Caleb saw Monica, he ran towards her and hugged her while crying. After living together, both soon started having romantic feelings towards each other, and she was the one who confessed first. She even stated that her family loves him as well. Due to incest being illegal in America, the duo faced lawsuits and even pled guilty. The police found them living in a mobile home, and they were ordered to stay apart for 18 months, and were also given 3 years of probation. While facing the lawsuits, Monica said that the love for each other is so strong, nothing can come between them. Not the kind of love story we ever want to hear again. Number 3. Doggo love. Who doesn't love dogs? These cute, innocent, mischievous creatures are always ready to melt our hearts. But some people take their loves for dogs too far. Amanda Rogers married her dog Sheba in 2012. She was married to a man a few decades prior, but it ended within a few months. Soon after the breakup, the Cupid arrow hit for the second time, making her realize her true love was for Sheba. The duo got married in Split, Croatia, in front of 200 people. She said that Sheba, who had been with her for years, always made her laugh and comforted her whenever she felt low, and that she couldn't think of a better partner. One day she got down on her knee and proposed to Sheba, and she could tell that the answer was yes, as her dog wagged her tail. Just like any other wedding, Amanda shared a kiss to close the deal. She even threw a bouquet of flowers. Amanda stated that even though she knew the wedding wasn't legal, it was still enough to make her happy. Sheba is always kind and loves her companion very much. So much for finding your perfect match. Number 2. I need you. Both. How many of you have heard of polyamory? If you haven't, don't worry. Polyamory means having more than one intimate relationship at the same time. 33-year-old Maria Butsky, who lives with her husband, 37-year-old Paul, and her 2 children, also lives with her 36-year-old lover, Peter. When she started having an affair with Peter, Maria left Paul to live with him, but soon started missing her husband and kids and realized she couldn't live without them. So she ended up living with both, and now they are one big, happy family. Maria said people might find it weird and think how could she possibly love two men, but she simply couldn't choose between them. She wholeheartedly loved both of them. When she left Paul, she felt a huge emptiness in her life, and thinking about a life without Peter was also heartbreaking. Paul said that he was really devastated when he first found out about the affair, but then he got to know Peter and realized how many things that both of them have in common. Paul feels like Peter is a surrogate dad to his kids. There is also no jealousy between them, and they manage to work like a team. Maria even said that both Peter and Paul don't sleep with her daily, but she sure does have sexual relationships with both the men. Peter sleeps on the sofa, while Paul sleeps in a room upstairs, and Maria sleeps with her eldest daughter. And number 1, real-life Game of Thrones. Who hasn't heard of Game of Thrones? One of the more controversial couples from the show was Cersei and Jaime Lannister. The sister and brother duo had 3 children together. Susan Karolewski and Patrick Stubing could be called the real Cersei and Jaime Lannister. The brother and sister were separated when Patrick was just 3 years old, along with his mother. His father, who was an alcoholic, attacked him with a knife. He was then adopted 4 years later by another family. Patrick, in the year 2000, was reunited with his sister and mother. He then later fell in love with Susan, who was 16 at the time. They started having sexual relations after their mother passed away in 2001, and they even had a child together. Patrick was actually sent to jail over the kid. When he was away, Susan was in a relationship with another man that also led to a baby. Soon after coming out of jail, Susan gave the right of this child to Patrick as well, and they went on to have 2 more children. There was a lawsuit against them. 3 out of 4 children are now looked after in foster care. Sadly, 2 of the children have disabilities. Their lawyer stated how risky it is to keep them apart from their parents. Patrick stated how the government has violated their life. The law against incestual relationships with brothers and sisters doesn't state that they can't protect their families. Do you know of any other bizarre relationships? Which of these surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments down below. Remember to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss a video. See you next time.